two-star recruit coming out of high school. Um, and now looking at your resume, I mean, uh, first team All SWAC, HBCU All American, FCS AP All American. How does a two-star recruit who, may not be getting all the big offers and stuff like that get to a point where you get uh that type of resume, you know?
Um, through the grace of God, through the grace of God, hard work and determination, I didn't let those stars define me.
Mm,
I'm so thankful to Louisiana-Lafayette and Jackson State for molding me into the person and player I am today. Because without those two places, I wouldn't be here. And
mm,
it's been a long journey. It's been a hard journey. There are some days where I was just like, maybe this isn't for me anymore, and I
mm.
just persevered. And my mom played a huge role in that. God played a huge role in that. Uh, and it's been a long journey, but I'm so thankful to be here. And because of that journey, I genuinely appreciate being here, and I know I'm never going to take it for granted.
Right. Okay. Much respect. I know you may have already kind of answered this, but um, you brought up the times where you may feel like you've went through where it may feel like, oh, this might not be for me anymore. How do you get out of those down times to be able to keep persevering?
You just have to surround yourself with the right people to uplift you, because you can't go as much as we want to be able to take on the world on our own, we can't take on the world on our own. So
Right.
thankfully my mom was there, my coaches were there, older older guys like Kevin Dotson, Robert Hunt were there to talk to me and
Mm,
keep me going and tell me that it's okay, you're just a freshman, you're gonna get better. It's gonna get better with time. So just having guys like that really made a difference. My mom just being out there for me made a difference. My sister, my brother being there made a difference, and God made a difference. That's when I really started to pray more was
yeah.
during that time, those trials and tribulations I went through.
Okay.
Definitely.
So the first school you went to was, like you said, Louisiana Lafayette. How do you correctly pronounce? Is it the
The University of Louisiana.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, how did you end up going to that school?
Well, Coach Sale and Coach Looney, God rest Coach Looney's soul, he passed away a few
My
years ago.
condolences.
Uh, they recruited me. Coach Looney was my recruiter, and he came to my house and bugged me every single day, and he showed me that he cared about me. Their philosophy was, "We're going to coach you hard, and we're going to love you harder," and they showed me that every single day.
Mm,
They coached me hard. That was my first time I was just pushed, genuinely just pushed past my limits, and they helped to mold me into that player and that person I am. And I believed in the process. I trusted Coach Napier and his staff, and it worked wonders for me. So I wouldn't be where I am without them, truly.
okay. Were you getting other offers?
Yes, I had one from Southern Miss, Jackson State, the staff previous to Coach Prime,
Yeah.
and I think I had a lot of JUCOs in Mississippi at the time.
Okay. So would you say that was probably the biggest school that
Yes,
okay.
definitely.
Um, what was like the major difference between uh high school football and college football at that point? You brought up like how much they changed you and molded you. So what were kind of like some of the major differences?
The biggest difference is high school football, it's like a hobby. You're out there from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then you're done for the day, and then you go out and you play on Friday nights. College football is a job.
Mm,
You're putting in long hours. You're up early in the morning for workouts. You have to be there early for breakfast, for weigh in. There's so much more structure to college football,
right.
and there's so much more discipline that you need. Even with the offensive line position, my Coach Hill, always used to say that it's the hardest position to come in and play as a freshman, because it's the largest learning gap. So
Right. Okay.
having to learn how to take the right steps, the right footwork, how to take a real pass set, how to get my hands inside and stay inside, all that stuff took time, and it was hard. Offensive line is a hard position to play, and it was a huge learning gap for me.
Mm,
Um, but thankfully, I was able to pick up steam, and took me a minute to pick up on everything, but once I picked up on it, I still kept up with it to this day. So
okay. So one point I wanted to touch on, I feel like I skipped over it
mhm.
earlier. You had a 4.0 GPA in high school. Did you continue that 4.0 GPA through college and stuff too, or
At parts in college, yeah, I had a 4.0, and then some parts it dropped down to a 3.5, a 3.7. But I've thankfully been able to stay above a 3.5.
okay.
And then I think what I'd stress to younger athletes and guys that are in high school right now, if you're watching this, your grades, coaches are going to ask you first, how are your grades, before they care about your ability
Right.
as a player, because it's like yin and yang. They both have to be in balance. So you can't just focus on football and not focus on the classroom.
Mm.
You have to be able to do both, because you're a student athlete. You're not just an athlete. You're not a professional player yet. So you have to make the grades, the right grades, take school seriously if you want football to be a viable future for you.
Right.